presented. When the deal is presented, what deal? Some of y'all are going to say, well, we're going to call it an offer. Whether that is presented by a friend, a family member, a famous person, an official, an offer that is presented through them, an offer of such, whether it be money, whatever the gains are, okay, whether it be freedom in exchange for their freedom, no matter what it is, it's an offer, it is a deal, okay, to portray somebody, even an innocent person. We're not talking about legitimate stuff here where there is somebody that is legitimately hired to look into something in an integral kind of way. This has nothing to do with nefarious dealings or hidden dishonor, nefarious gains, agendas. 0%. That's another kind of category. That's legitimate work. Okay, that's legitimate investigatory work, and those things does not include some type of physical harm or interference with that said target. It doesn't include that. It's basically strictly reportative. I just made up a word. Okay, that's all it is. It's not okay. Do this in front of them. Get up, stand up, look at them, look down at your like it. It does not involve all of that. That's not integral investigations. That's a scam. Okay, albeit an ancient one, but it still is one. Okay, now the deal. The reason why I want to talk about the deal, because you all hear folks like myself and many other content creators that are talking about this stuff. We hear the term sell out, sell out. So I wanted to come back and go, okay, because the deal, the offer, when listening to folks like me or even watching something on TV, you get, I get, we get the backdrop of the story. So we're seeing bird's eye view, full picture, as the folks and the characters on the screen are living it out and walking it out. They don't see the full view. That's why we be sitting in our seats going, run, like y'all know how we do it, because we see where the monster is, right? They don't. So the deal. The reason why people do not believe that there are sellouts, because the deal was presented with coding. In other words, the persons or the people who came that presented the deal didn't come with a name tag on it that says, I'm a sleazy, slimy, slithery, snaky bastard. Run for your life. I'm I'm about to propose to you something that you're never going to sleep good again once that high come down. Okay? That they're not going to they're not coming with a name tag and an ID badge that says I'm trash. Hello. I'm trash pretending to be class and I'm offering you cash and you think it's going to last. They don't come like that. And somebody will say, dang, why should I go there? Because, well, sometimes that shock that brings a snap to our mind like, oh yeah, no, they're not. No, of course they're not coming with a name tag. Just like a killer is not coming with a name tag. Except for, you know, the obvious ones, pretty clear, y'all get it. But it's standard when you're talking sociopathic pathology and stuff, sleazy, slimy, schemy, scammy, shady, shisty. It's not coming with a yeah, I suck ass. I'm bad. It's not coming with I am a betrayer for hire and I'll do it in a New York minute. It's not gonna come with that. This is why, even when you guys listening to folks that's referencing the end times and Bibles, stuff like that, And for those of us that leans towards the real vibration behind the truth. Fascinating thing is, most don't know. A lot of folks is worried about the mark of the beast. They already did it. They took the deal. And you know, why am I saying it in this way? And I'm not coming from religion. I need to put that out there. But why am I saying it in this way? Because the deal is never presented as the trash it is. And it never will be. It will always be hidden under an agenda that leans towards whoever they're trying to pull into the bullshit. So, depending on the demographics, coordinates, the population, all such, because everyone is profiled. And I do mean everyone, including those they hire. They lean towards that because that's the illusion. That's the seduction. I come from religious background, so I know all about the talk. Okay? That's what a lot of folks don't know about me. Oh, when they find out though. Strong. When I say something, I'm talking some strong shiz, okay? I ain't talking about that Disneyland, you know what I'm saying? It's a small world version. And you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm saved because it is Easter, bitch. You know, I'm like, no. Okay. And we'll, so, like I was saying, I'm familiar. And I had the opportunity, first and foremost from being growing up, but then as a young woman, because I went full throttle, okay? Go big or go home. And I'm familiar with all the various lingo and talk about, the stories, even the movies, and, all of the things, the end times. And, basically it was like the sellouts. Folks was supposed to sell out for their bowl of beans. That's basically what the hell, I'm saying, it's saying. The funny thing is most of them have. Mm. Child. And don't even know it. Because first and foremost, the program, the architecture, they're not aware of any of that. The oblivion to any true decency, void of agenda. Okay? Hear me out. Void of agenda. Void of anything being attached to said decency. The decency, when a deal is made, that's why I'm trying to differentiate between legitimacy and when there's something off. That is the sellout. We hear so many stories about versions of sellouts. And of course, there's layers to that. Okay? People who, they didn't really do. Who did I hear say that? Oh, it was Ralph Smart, which was one of the first pioneers, I think, in 2018 for me, the tail end of 2018, 2019, when I went through some of my initial, what the fuck, down that rabbit hole. And now here recently, I'm gonna say after the last couple of years, he did a video that says, some people don't want to sell their soul no more. I'm gonna talk about that too, because that's in conjunction with sellout. It's the same, whether people believe they got a soul or not. We're gonna talk about what they saying. The sellout is nefarious anywhere there is an undercurrent, a foundation, an undertone of nefarious dealings. Whether that be somebody knows someone is innocent, but they're being offered, and the motherfucker that's, you know, presenting with a heaping coat of ice and filled with bullshit, they know that the person is innocent, and the people, you know, essentially either they know initially, or even if they don't, at some point, especially if they're like legitimate, like kind of somewhat grounded people and really decent, they're gonna know. Oh, they're gonna know. Now, if they override it, that's another story. But we didn't say that. I said they're gonna know. That is the sellout. That's the selling of one's soul, if you will. The selling of one's own sovereignty, if you will. The selling of one's own true highest essence for their perspective bowl of beans. The bowl of beans is mortgage. It's whatever, anything and everything in between. Like I said, some people, it keeps them out of prison. They're them boys, them three-letter boys, the crooks, them crooked ones come up in there, rolling up there with their veneers, skin and bark. They come up in there with a folder in a cold, sterile room, all perfectly acoustically designed as well as visual to make you to make your ass scared, you know, shivering. Huh? Make you vulnerables. You feel vulnerables. Okay? Make you vulnerables. And they come in, hey, they talk about all that you did and why you was going up the river. And then the good cop, or the good agent, comes in there with a nice warm cup of coffee, ask you if you want a soda, a Coke, a donut. And a file and an offer that says, yeah, I know that that's got to be a lot for you to think about. Here's the good cop, the good agent that came in, because you know they didn't prime the other one with all the scary information. So, yeah, you know that's scary, and you know we know. I know. Look, hey, bruh, hey, so look at me. We know. I know. Everybody's got a story, and guess what? I believe. I believe that you know you're good. You're a good egg. You know, you just had some bad breaks. You made some mistakes. You know, you've been, and you know what? I really want to help you because you remind me of me. Yeah, everybody needs a break. And I tell you what, there's somebody here that we really need to get. Yeah, here's their file. Lies, lies, lies. Pieces of truth, lies, lies. If you would be willing, all we're going to ask you to do, don't worry. We're not asking you, you know, to put hands on anybody. We're not asking you to put yourselves in harm's way here. But if you'll be willing to, you know, go into the dwelling, we have it set up to where we're in connections with the landlords and the managers and of these various places. Be willing to, you know, as they let you in there, go plant some things in there for us, or just go touch some things or take some things. And if you're not willing to do that, okay, are you willing to follow them and all the list of things that we give you to do? You have to be willing to do that, and then we'll your freedom. This goes away. This folder, goes away. Your folder goes away. You can be with your family, take care of your children. We know that's important to you. Whatever the deal. Now that's from the side of freedom. But I'm only sharing that little story because y'all, these are the deals. It's never presented the way you think it would be. That's in the case of somebody that's, going up the river. They got a rap sheet. Okay. Now the example, there's other examples. That's how they roll when it's that arena. Okay, and they adjust, like I said. They adjust per that arena. Now, if they're going for a religious sector, the adjustments are going to be totally different. If they're going to go to the religious authorities or the religious leaders, they're going to come with some shiz on that, and they're going to lean into and appeal to their beliefs. I'm gonna say it that way. They're still going to present a folder: truth, lies, 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 mostly lies, a little bit of truth. And they take the deal. Remember, I said the deal is never, it's not going to come, I'm the devil. I'm going to lean into the religious talk on the side of religion. Then I can go full circle, baby. I can go full circle. Now, on the side of religion, when they're leaning into that, they're not going to come, I'm the devil. Ah! Yeah, you preach about me our Sunday, and I'm the devil about to get you to sell out. But I'm going to trick your ass, and I'm going to actually make you think you doing something spiritual. And have you do something abominable to an innocent being. That's what I'm going to do. And my pearly veneered Hollywood 6. And of course, since they know that the religious sector loves money, and they will possibly propose some things there. We'll make a contribution, we'll, a big offering, fast track and approval for a 501c. But if we allow ourselves to sit with that like as if in real time, then you'll see what I'm saying. Because if you just sit with it without any judgment attached to it or any emotion or and you're just in it in the moment, what does it look like? That's why I'm being funny. People think I'm being crass. No, that's why I'm being funny, because it's never going to be that. It's never going to show that. It's going to be very plausible deniability. It's going to be very, I'm just a businessman. I'm just a businesswoman. I'm just a, trying to do good for the country while we trying to torture and terrorize our own. Oops, didn't mean to say. They're not gonna give you that. That's why most people don't know that they're a sellout. The end. They're not going to give you that. Most people are gonna, I mean, if you think of it practically, you'll see what I'm saying by the time you see the video. Most level-headed folks ain't gonna take nothing that looks obviously skanky. Not a level-headed motherfucker. Most. I said most. Because there, I have to. I'd be remiss if I don't admit that there are some people that are just that trashy. Why would I say something like that? Well, the behavior, the conduct, the willingness. I'm not saying that that's all they could. It's been a choice that they have been that. Does that feel better? Where they don't care who they hurt, as long as them and therefore gets, some tacos and can go to Disneyland. As long as that little Pedro, you know, and their little Tiffany and Ashley, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm referencing, because that's the primitive or complex nature. I don't care what has to happen to anyone else. I don't care if the law is being broken against the person. I don't care if physical harm is being caused to the person. I don't care if they're being made sick. I don't care if they're innocent. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if they're sick, elderly, and disabled, as long as my mortgage get paid and I can pay for my kids' graduation and college tuition, and I can refurbish my home, and I can, 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 and I can. As long as I can pay my bills, I don't care if it kills. That is the definition of sell out. When they present, when the offer is presented, it always feels good. It's through the Bible. Those who love to wield the Bible like browbeating, it's in the very book that many pretend to read, or they're reading with sleep eyes, sleep consciousness. It talks about the illusion, the deceptiveness of things. But I think often, yeah, there it is. Ah, there we go, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Often, we gaslight ourselves. And when something, it's a human condition until we're ready to deal with the fact that that's what we're doing and what we're dealing with. We love, at least when I was a part of the religious sector, you know what I'm saying? We love, just a love, talking about when Jesus, a famous reference is of him in the wilderness. It's famous. Him, okay, John the Baptist did it before him, but him going into the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights. And it talked, he was fasting and everything. And then according to the reference, then it talks about the devil. Now, if only, see, here's the trick. As you read something like that, it looks clear because there was an offer made, and it was clearly who it was, and the the devil clearly said, like, if you would just do this, and if you would just bow down and worship me, I will give you. Here is where we missed it. What if it doesn't happen as literal as that? What if it don't have nothing to do with somebody saying, I'll give you the Escalade you've always wanted, gold rims to match your gold teeth. I'll give you your name, famous, people screaming your name in awe, as long as you. What if that as long as you part only happens far few and in between, way up there where most of us aren't? What if, as standard, the if you is the deal I'm talking about? If you will betray an innocent person, oops, uh-oh. If you will betray, oops, uh-oh. If you, oops, uh-oh. If you will terrorize a disabled man, if you will do your ancient history of root work, you and your family, on a disabled man. What if that's the way it comes? And what if when they say it, they present it in a manner such as this? They're suffering anyway. They're not gonna know. They're not gonna feel it. They're already disabled. There would be no questions raised. They're not gonna know the difference. They're not gonna die. You're not really doing anything. Sell out. Because they sell out anytime there's the nefarious undertone. We just have to be willing to call it what it is when we're in it. I think we're starting to go down. We should be good to go to the store now. Yeah, I know. Give me a second, son, in a minute. So, to wrap it up, it's never presented. The scriptures, all the things that people love to preach and get the highs and lows, the organ and piano and the haze and the running around and all that. Now, why is 70% of that population selling out? See, they like to talk about Jesus and the Buddha. This is like that's hashtag goals. That's hashtag inspiration. That's hashtag what I want to be when I grow up. No, they don't. According to that same text, he was hungry, weak, tired, alone. He didn't have the cushy life. Anyway, he didn't have the cushy life. He didn't have all of the fluff and was just trying to get his energy together. And lo and behold, here it comes. What if it's a system? What if the devil is a system? What if the devil is an organized parasitic way of being that pulls people into doing all kind of snaky, slimy, slithery, shady, skanky ass, shystery shit for hire? And then you can go sit in the confession booth. And then do it again tomorrow. Another disabled person, another innocent single mother, another somebody they think is vulnerable and ain't got nothing to nobody, so they thinking they can just do whatever and ain't gonna ever have to deal with shit. The ring of Gyges. So no one will know or no one will care. It's isolated, it's done in secret, plausible deniability. Hide it under, it's the program. No one will know. It's just the way it is, just a process. No one will know. Oh, it's known and it's noted. Sellouts. Sellouts. They were presented, but it's never going to be presented with a clearly defined label. It's a test of character. It's a test of one's own true character and one's own true so-called discernment and one's own true resonance. Is one going to allow their own indifference, prejudices, biases, and discriminatory attitudes and beliefs to influence them to do something that they would not otherwise do to someone of their own liking? Then it's a sellout. Because conduct is across the board. It's not just for my kind. My fellow brother or sister in the Lord. My race, my ethnicity, my gender identification. My gang, my cult, my posse. My age group, my socioeconomic status class group. There's the socialism. Conduct is across the board when it's real. There's no pass on skanky, shady, shiesty, nasty, sleazy, trashy, all the words. There's no. Oh, we can be these things because we don't like them. Okay, yeah, correct. And that means we're going to call a spade a spade. the Jesus that they don't know but potential. Yeah, he not taking skanky, nasty asshole bag deals from nobody. I'm sorry. He ain't stalking people. He ain't asking people to stalk people. So I ask people to stalk to say, oh shit. He sure ain't asking nobody to stalk no disabled person, to steal from them, or to do any good work. The Pope ain't asking. Not all. Well, let me stop right there. I'll leave that part alone. I'm just gonna stick to what I'm saying. No sovereign vibration operating in their full sovereignty, coherence, and benevolence from their original blueprint, bitch. Ain't none of them asking now hope. I said what I said. And sovereign beings, as flawed, but especially someone of the caliber of the Jesus they pretend to know, even though that's an inversion, I'm going to let that go. I'll just say this, the original. Now, the original masters, for that matter, because he wasn't the only one. The originals, the original blueprint, including the women. Oh, no. It'll blow some people's wig off if they knew. If they knew. No sovereign being, none of the true masters. Their shit got inverted and perverted. Because ain't now none of them asking people to do harm. Or to sit there and let people unjustly suffer so that this big fat motherfucker, come back up. Ain't none of them inspiring nobody to be out here being toxic and abusive. To turn a blind eye where injustices are done when there could be something done. That ain't no legit master. No legit master don't tell nobody that. Not nobody when I'm telling you what I know. They don't have no Machiavellian viewpoint. The ends justify the means so that we can stay in power and keep being seen. Ain't nothing but the aim. 0%. Now, for those of you out there who know somebody who they don't have any, you might say, Bloomy, I hear you. That's why I watch your stuff. But we're talking about people, folks I know, what I'm saying, what I know about represent, they don't believe in anything. Okay, this still fits. Okay, like they don't believe in they're fully atheists, or they're fully, okay, they don't have no spirituality, they don't believe in none of it. They believe in only what they can see, only what this physicality, and blase blase. Fair enough, they're not exempt, because a lot of these folks, some of them behave karmically as well. What we're talking about in this video is decency. It doesn't have to necessarily be subscribed to some kind of a spiritualities, because like I said, there are people out there, they not that. But when folks with their avatars, their uniforms that they're presenting to the world, like they're decent people, well, let me just make this perfectly clear. Ain't that decent being coming from a coherent, sound, benevolent place within themselves, participating in bullshit like that. Perp. They ain't off the hook. Because sometimes when you lean too much practical into this material world, some cases, you're easy to be a sellout. Just depends on the level of maturity and development. Easy, because again, Machiavellian, the ends justifies the means. As long as me and my foe get to go to Disney. Because some people, it's really down to that kind of shit. I ain't gonna even lie. But some of these folks out here, it ain't even, some of them, they greedy as fuck. They're greedy. And they don't care who they have to hurt to feel that insatiable desire. Nothing ain't never enough, nigga bitch. Ain't never been. It's like, what the hell? What else do you want, motherfucker? Shit.
Let's go to the store before it's too late.
It's crazy. It's crazy as hell. Anyway. It's like, I need another Mercedes. I need the 13th class one. Fuck S class. I need the Z class, bitch. I need another one. I need 12 Teslas. 12 is a good number. I need 12. What do you mean? I need 12. I still need one more. They got a new version. So I need somebody to die, please, so that I could go and get me another one. Could we go torture some other unsuspecting disabled person and then slap a stamp on it, talking about it's their disability with our raggedy ass? Can we do that, please? And then look at them like they're the problem and put the fake pitiful face on. Aww.
Let's not waste any time. Let's go to the store.
Aw, well, if their mother and their father would live for the Lord while we sit on our asses and get rich off of this pain and suffering and pretending to be good. Aw.
I'm on, Mom. Let's go.
Anywho, let me wrap it up. I've been on here longer than expected. So, there's always that cut off khakis, French braids, and house shoes. Okay, I try to put it on lock and chain. and she still comes out to play. But if we could just hold to the reality, nefarious deals are never presented with a label and name tag to make it easily and clearly defined. That's rare, very rare. And the only time such happens is when they know they're dealing with trash anyway. They know that the person is pretty much the gutter, and so they ain't gotta gloss it up. They know, like, oh, they'll do it. We ain't gotta pretend. This is our rare situation that we don't have to even pretend, bitch. That we can just go and be ourselves and say, we want you to go do some terrible things to these innocent people. And as long as you can keep them in this constant loop of pain and suffering and poverty and tragedy and issues and making them look like they crazy and shit and can't get it together, as long as you can keep them there, we'll keep the money in your hair. A new week every week. Don't that, how that sound? Huh? You need a little touch up, need a little Botox? Huh? You need to get some retouching on your BBLs? How that sound? Huh? You need to get a little suck to some little spotlight bowl. You need a little tan, you need your eyebrows redone. What? Huh? We can get you imported Indian hair. Straight off the hole's head. How that sound? And if your conscience seems to stir up, they'll give you some money to go on TV and make a donation to the Make-A-Wish Foundation or the Cancer Society or the Autism of America. Just consider them the sacrifice for their population. How does that sound? Your autistic kid will be well taken care of. We even put them on pictures and commercials, bitch. How about that? Yeah, we'll do that. And we'll just sacrifice this disabled man. We stole his life. Oh, we don't have a clue of what's coming. But how does that sound?